Kevin, thank you. We are following details of what's being called an historic agreement to ensure access to all at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. RTV6 reporter Jack Reinhardt spent the day looking into details of the agreement, and he joins us live from the Motor Speedway with more. Jack.
Well, Todd, the numbers tell us that 1 in 5 Americans has a physical disability. And the agreement announced today by the U.S. Attorney's Office guarantees that the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and all of its venues will be accessible to all people with physical handicaps by the next 2.5 years. The long and arduous road to equal access began in 1999 when race fan Dan Ward went to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Even though he had credentials to Gasoline Alley, security personnel deemed his wheelchair a safety hazard.
Well, I was really disappointed. People with disabilities face a lot of obstacles, and when you're kind of hit in the face with it, so to speak, it just made me really disappointed that day.
The Motor Speedway is the largest venue and most heavily attended sporting event in the world, but it's not accessible to all who want to share in the racing experience. Within this 345-acre complex, federal surveyors found 360 violations of the Americans with Disabilities Act.
You had to worry about parking, and you had to worry about concessions, restrooms. All of that is part of the track. And all of that is part of the racing experience at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
In its agreement with the federal government, the Speedway will make space available for wheelchair fans and their companions in all major grandstands, and it will build ramps and elevators to facilitate accessibility. Speedway officials say that marrying a century-old racetrack with a modern-day Disability Act presents a challenge.
It gets a little dicey, it gets a little complicated as to where those kinds of elements that can be installed. We've got existing spectators, so we've got to kind of worry about, not trying to disrupt their experiences.
The transition has been 13 years in the making, and today it's because of Dan Ward's wheelchair that all will have access.
Well, I'm confident that the Speedway is committed to bringing the venue into compliance with the ADA.
Officials at the Speedway said today that many of these ADA issues have already been addressed, and while not admitting any guilt, the Speedway has agreed to pay race fan Dan Ward $35,000. But today, at least, everyone believes this agreement puts everyone in victory lane. Live at the Motor Speedway, Jack Reinhardt, RTV6.